Well, I finally did it, y'all. I finally got off at a decent time so I can make a prediction video. I never get to make prediction videos. I always like run out of time, don't get to do it. The last prediction video I did was a Volk versus Lopez, Diego Lopez. So it's been a while. And it's the big 318 card. I bet a lot of y'all don't know. So maybe I shouldn't tell y'all exactly where I live,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
but I live in the area code 318, which is only like 3.5 hours from New Orleans. So yeah, it's pretty cool that this is UFC 318. It's Dustin's final fight. It actually would have been really cool if it would have been in Lafayette, like at the Cajun Dome. Like that's his real hometown. But New Orleans, it's weird how New Orleans like represents the state, but New Orleans is so unique, bro. Like, there's no other town like New Orleans in Louisiana, really. So it's its own thing. I'm only 3.5 hours away, but it's we don't. You wouldn't think my town looks like anything like New Orleans. So it's just funny how when they show Louisiana on TV, it's pretty much just New Orleans because that's the most famous city. So I get it. I'm not really into these big, big style hats. Never have been, but I actually got this hat in New Orleans. And so, man, it's probably been 10 years at least since I've been in New Orleans. So actually, I brought my son, yeah, like 2016. So it's been like 10 years. So it's been a while. But yeah, we'll rep the Pelicans hat today for UFC 318. But yeah, if you've been following the channel, I wanted to go to these fights. But man, the ticket prices were high, and I'm sure they're going to drop down a little bit lower. They're down to like 300 a piece now. It was like 500 though. My brother told me 300, but I'd have to double check that. So he decided at the last minute to go on down there. So a little jealous of you there, but hey, I think he's going to do a vlog while he's there. So that's pretty cool. So, all right, we got Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway in your main event. I'm just going to do the main card, guys. Let's see. Starting off the main card, you got Michael Johnson and Daniel Zellhuber. And Michael Johnson, but let's see, what's Michael Johnson's record? Do they even show? No. What? Okay, the UFC website's all weird. Anyway, Michael Johnson, he's at a plus 275. Yeah, Daniel Zellhuber, he's going to be the favorite in this fight. He's younger. I would probably say faster. I think he's faster. I haven't really seen him fight in a long time. I think the last time he fought was at the Spear. Michael Johnson, man, he's one of those fighters that he can beat one of the best guys in the world and then lose to like a top, not even a top 20 guy the next day. So he has a strange career. Has a win over Dustin Poirier, who's in the main event, who's, went on to be a lot more accomplished. That's the thing about MMA guys. And that's one reason why I've never really been into predictions too much. Like, of course, like I make my own predictions in my head, but MMA is so unpredictable. It's so unpredictable. You have certain fights that are like, I'm pretty sure a lock in, but the odds are usually even on those, or not even, but the odds are in favor of who's more than likely going to win. So, yeah, more than likely Daniel's a hooper, but Michael Johnson does have knockout power, and if he can start putting his hands on Zellhuber, if Zellhuber can't get him out of there, like Michael Johnson will knock you out. So make no mistake about that. That might not be a horrible bet to make. Moving on, Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. I just think Pitbull has too many miles on him. If he gets touched at all, I mean, Dan Ige has serious knockout power, and he swings for the fences. Yeah, first round knockout. I really think that's gonna happen. If Pitbull can somehow survive, now Pitbull he can crack too, but he looked a lot smaller than Ige. Ige looked big next to Pitbull. And man, I feel like if Pitbull had came 8 years ago, it'd be maybe a different story. But I just think he's a little too old in this situation. And yeah, you got Dan Ige at minus 166. I think he should be higher, even more than that. Next fight on the card, Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. No odds. Why does the UFC do this? I need to stop. I need to stop picking the UFC website to like go through the card. I just like literally Google UFC 318 and pick the first thing. So it does that sometimes though. Let me know if y'all know. Why does it do that sometimes where it's just no odds? I'm sure they change or I don't know. To me, that's a pretty easy one. Kevin Holland all the way. I do not like Kevin Holland at all, but he is a good fighter, and when he's locked in, he's locked in. And yeah, I just think that he, yeah, I just think he's got the finishing potential. He's faster. He's just more skilled than Daniel Rodriguez. So that's an easy one for me. Up next, Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. This one's another one that I wouldn't say it's an easy pick, but I just feel like Kopylov, he's going to be able to touch Costa. Costa just doesn't have the greatest defense. He can take a shot, but he doesn't have the greatest defense. He has good like pressuring skills, but hasn't got a knockout or a finish. Yeah, it hasn't got a finish in like 7 years, bro. It's been a long time since Paulo Costa got a finish. So he's at plus 200. That's about right. You never know. You never know what can happen, especially at middleweight. But it just seems like Kopylov's going to be putting it on him, putting more output on him. I don't think he'll finish him, but yeah, he'll definitely more likely win every round. And on to the main event. This one, dude, I haven't even. Here I am doing a prediction video, and I have not even. I mean, I've went back and forth on my pick, but I didn't really think about it, like lock it in when I hit record on this video. I just keep going back and forth, man. I don't know if I can actually make a pick. Like, on one hand, I think Max has improved a lot more. I think Max is gonna. I could see a situation where Max comes in and he looks like he did against Gaethje, and he beats Dustin. Maybe not every round, but turns it up in the last 3 rounds and wins those. I could see that. But Max was just knocked out, and there's certain fighters, bro, that can like come back from knockouts like nothing happened. Poirier's one of them. Poirier's been knocked out by Michael Johnson. I think in his very next fight, he got a knockout. Like some guys, it just doesn't really affect them like that. They go right back in the next fight and they're looking for the finish themselves. I don't know if Max will be like that. I think he will be. If you made me choose, I would say, yeah, Max is going to look maybe better than ever, at 155. But you just don't know. You really don't know. He's had a lot of damage over the years. You don't know. He gets cracked one good time by Poirier. He might start having those, flashbacks of Ilya Taporia. We don't know. It wasn't that long ago. It was a while ago. But yeah, I think it's much better that he went to 55. Much better that he went to 55. The weight cut definitely probably played a factor. He's been doing that for a long time. Max still like only 33 years old, which is kind of crazy. Or 32. It's not very old, bro. Has a lot of mileage on him though. Poirier, it's like I think this is probably I wouldn't say the worst he's been, but at the same time, like he's not in his prime anymore, but he's not. He's on a slow decline. I'll say that. He's on a slow decline. He's not washed by any means. He still has knockout power. He can still take a shot. He can be finished though. We've seen that before. He can be finished. If Max like really decided to turn it up and he has a speed advantage on him, we don't know. But I do know Dustin's probably trained harder than any fight recently. I mean, I'm sure he trains really hard every fight, but this is the last one. So, does that play a factor in it? Is he thinking about that during the fight? Oh, it's the last one. This is a hard fight to predict, bro. It really is. It's a hard one. When little fight odds first came out on the game, UFC 5, I picked Dustin. I picked Dustin by a 5 round decision. But then I started going back thinking maybe Max, just because Max still is a fight. Like you know, he's not stopping after this fight. He's still trying to maybe get that Elia rematch. I heard him talking about the Charles rematch. Like he's still in this. His heart's still in this. It's just, is his body and is his chin still in it? That's the question. But for Dustin, I feel like he's going to give it his all. Like he's going to give it everything he's got. But you know what? I don't know, man. I just don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think Dustin's in that much of a decline. I think he's still, a top guy. Um, I don't know, man. It's a really hard one. If you made me pick right now, I'd say Max by decision. I don't think there'll be a finish, but I would say Max by decision. I mean, the crowd's going to be behind Dustin, but at the same time, at first I was like, man, do you think Max could like actually play spoiler? Like he's not going to let his, feelings get in the way. Bro knocked out Korean Zombie in his hometown. He don't care. In his last fight, he don't care. So Max is going to go in there and be Max. So let me know what y'all think. Who y'all got in the main event? Who y'all got with the rest of the card? What do you think about my picks? Man, I'm excited for this one. Even though I'm not going to be there, I'll be there in spirit. And it's really a better seat. It's really a better seat if you're in front of a big screen instead of being actually at the fights. But man, no telling when the UFC will come back to Louisiana. It's been like 10 years. Last time they came was 2015. I missed that one. And before that was like, it was probably like 97 or no, actually, yeah, maybe 97 or 93. Like Shreveport, Louisiana was like the home of the second UFC ever, UFC 2, I think. Double check me, but Shreveport, Louisiana was one of the first UFCs. Wasn't the first, but it was like the second or third. So it's been a long time since they've been to the boot. So let me know what y'all think. Tell me how excited y'all are for this fight. Don't forget to like and subscribe for your boy. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.